Hi everybody, I'm Teresa McGallagher and I was inspired to come on today to talk about who God is. I feel like the word God has a lot of baggage associated with it, and it can be very triggering for us, especially those of us who were raised Christian and have preconceived ideas about what that word means. So I wanted to talk about the name of God, and I want to preface my talk by saying that God is something so much bigger, grander, more infinite than what the human mind can conceive that words fail us. So it's almost kind of pointless to use words to talk about God because, as the Course in Miracles says, words are but symbols of symbols, twice removed from reality. So God being reality, and the things that we say about God or talk in order to try to describe God, those things are removed from reality. So not even close to being able to say with words what God is. But I'm going to give it a little shot today. So I know you've had this thought before because I'm pretty sure that every person, every English speaker has had this thought, usually as a young child, that the word God is an anagram for the word dog. And a dog is a creature that gives us a pure example of unconditional love in this 3D world. They don't judge us. They are always happy to see us when we come home. They are loyal. They are devoted. They are loving. They are, for the most part, sweet and just gentle creatures. And of course, they're called man's best friend. So I think if we were going to try to describe God in English, a dog is about as close as we're going to get for the attributes of God. So many of us who are raised Christian, and this is why I wanted to bring this up, have a real misconception about who God is and what God is all about because of the things that we were told as children in church. And often we were led to believe that God is some sort of big judgmental force that's going to punish us or that's watching us all the time. And it can make you kind of paranoid if you take that seriously. That is a man-made definition of God. That is an anthropomorphic definition of God, where we have created God in our image, which is not correct. It's reverse. You know, the Course says that everything is upside down and backwards. That's backwards. God created us in his or her or its image. And that image is all positive. There's nothing negative in that definition of God. It's all good. So in Hebrew, they don't even write the word God out. They leave a gap. It's like G. So you may have seen it written G-D. Like the idea behind that is that God is something so holy, so grand, so perfect that it can't be expressed or written or said out loud. Like we don't dare to even try to fool with that, right? And that can also seem a little bit scary, like, you know, God, our God is a fearful God. And I think there's a real confusion about awe. Our God is an awful God. This awe that we feel for God, or that we're meant to feel for God, should be a reverence, not a frightening thing, not a scary thing. So I just wanted to talk about my experience living in the Middle East. I used to be a linguist, an Arabic linguist. I went to school for a whole year to learn modern standard Arabic, reading and writing classical Arabic, and then another 3 months after that to learn the Levantine dialect, which is the dialect of Arabic that is used in the Levant part of the Middle East, Lebanon, Syria, Palestine. And one of the common things that you'll hear among Arabic speakers is the word Allah for God, and then the names of people who are named as servants of God. So the word for servant in Arabic is abd, and you will hear a lot of names like Abdullah, that's the servant of God, Abdul Rahim, Abdul Rahman, Abdul Karim. And then you'll think, what's going on here? Why does everybody have this name that starts with Abdul whatever? It's because in Arabic, then God has 99 names, 99 different names in addition to Allah. I guess Allah would be 100. And every single one of those 99 names is a positive quality. God is generous, the generous one. He's the kind one. He's the loving one. He's the merciful one. He's the greatest one. So those names in Arabic correspond to servant of the great one, servant of the merciful one, servant of the loving one, servant of the kind one, servant of any positive quality that you can imagine is considered to be a name of God, because those things are the qualities of God. And there are no negative qualities. God has no negative qualities. So if you have a preconceived idea about God as someone who might get you, as someone who's scary, as someone who is judging you, as someone who wants to punish you, you have been badly taught. Those things are not correct. Those things are not true. And actually, in the end, there is no separation between us and God. All of our misery comes from the idea and the belief that there is a separation, that we are weak and that we are bad and that God is great. And there's this big gap between that great, wonderful quality and our weak, miserable qualities, when in reality there's no separation. All of the good qualities that God has are also all of the good qualities that I have, and all of the good qualities that you have. So if I love God, I have to love you, and I have to love myself, because there's no separation. And when I learn to love myself, I automatically love God, and I automatically love you, because there's no separation. There's only one thing going on here, and that's life. God is life happening to us and through us, being expressed through us. It doesn't just stop. It moves. It's a movement. It's an energy. It's the life force being expressed through me and through you. And it's all good. There's nothing wrong with any of it. So, appreciate you showing up to join me here today. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I love you. Bye-bye now.